So I recently made a pretty big change in my life. If you consider my past, a lot of people probably wouldn't consider this a very big change, but about 8 weeks ago, I stopped smoking marijuana. And it's a big deal for me because I've literally been smoking marijuana through a bong primarily. Obviously, I did smoke it some other ways, but 97% of the time I was taking bong hits, um, smoking about a gram and a half a day, approximately since I was a few months before I turned 14. I'm 39 and a half right now, so 25 and a half years taking bong hits. The reason why I stopped, and this is the helpful part, um, well, gonna get to that part, was because I had done a couple bad construction demo jobs, just a lot of dust, a lot of, you know, unhealthy type chemicals and exposure to that, drywall is, no asbestos that I know of, but a lot of sheetrock drywall, which is not good for you when it's dust in the air, obviously. And one of these jobs I decided, because I was unhappy about a business opportunity going south, that I didn't need to wear breathing protection. And it was the worst job that I did that on, that I made that poor decision. And I was literally coughing up like gray, green, I'm colorblind, grayish, bitter tasting phlegm for 4 to 6 weeks after this job, maybe 3 weeks. But it was about a month. And I essentially thought that was, that was the majority of it had passed, but smoking marijuana would continually exacerbate the condition and bring it back and give me regular kind of respiratory infections with no other symptoms, not like a head cold or fever or aches or lowered energy, just respiratory. And fairly regularly, every 4 to 6 weeks, I'd basically pick up another cough. I kind of kept trying to mentally talk my way out of it. Primarily because I was used to and somewhat in the habit of the spontaneous, the immediate spontaneous gratification of packing weed, lighting it, smoking, and getting high within, a matter of seconds. So every time I wanted to do that, 10, 15 times a day, I would do it and it would have an immediate effect. And I was kind of on that hamster wheel. And I recognized that, but I didn't really have a problem with it other than the fact of what was happening with my lungs. And I picked up a really bad cough out of nowhere around Labor Day, just really bad. And no other symptoms again. And pretty much decided that was it. I'd been hemming and hawing about stopping combusting marijuana and just starting to eat oil or concentrates, essentially by heating them up to decarboxylate them so then you can ingest it, and the THC has been converted into a usable form in the body, which off the plant, the flower needs to be cured, or concentrate needs to be heated up or flour needs to be heated up to decarboxylate it. And something that I suspected when I started doing this is that it would pretty much, because I have a relatively high tolerance and it's not an immediate thing when you ingest cannabis, especially if it's on a full stomach, it can take 90, 120 minutes to start feeling the effect. So it's between me setting up my propane stove to boil water, to put this oil in a container, like kind of a secondary bath, heat it up, decarboxylate it. That takes 60 to 90 minutes. Then eat it. It's something I could just immediately do. essentially, because I'm not going to buy edibles from a dispensary because they're far too expensive for the amount of THC that you get. And what it did was, because I could never really immediately have an instant gratification like I had been used to for over 2 decades, essentially it kind of quickly got me off the mental hamster wheel of deciding I wanted to get high, and within minutes packing weed, smoking it, and getting high. Especially because I don't work a regular job. So I actually found that was a pretty easy transition because I just had made the mental choice, which isn't always the easy thing to do, to stop smoking for health reasons. And then there was no immediate gratification whenever I started using. And basically that led me to the point very quickly, within 7 to 10 days, of not necessarily thinking about it regularly or using it daily. So at this point, I'm maybe using it 4 to 5 days a week, when I was using a significant amount on a daily basis, combusting. And so if anyone watching this video, has been in a regular habit of combusting marijuana, be it a joint, a bowl, a bong, or a vaporizer, I do admit that I do take a few hits of vapor hits, not in an electric device, but with a quartz nail and a torch. Essentially, I'll take a handful, half a dozen or less vapor hits, and then ingest the rest of the oil orally after I decarboxylate it. I don't want to be vaping a lot, because it's probably not the healthiest thing in the world either, and it will probably lead me back into smoking flower, like combusting it. So I try to basically not do that more than once or twice a week, and smoke a very small amount of whatever oil I possess, and then cook the rest up. And I did find it was amazingly easy to go from the instant gratification to not using daily, or even regularly. Like, I would wait till the end of the day to eat the cannabis, and I wouldn't, in the morning, I no longer have the urge to smoke a bong because I haven't done it in 8, 9, 10 weeks or whatever it is. And it's actually been very refreshing to be at the point now where I don't crave, to get high regularly. When I wake up throughout the day, I understand that I don't want to do that to my lungs. So the only thing I can do is get oil in my possession, decarboxylate it to make it active to orally ingest, and then ingest it, and then wait another 60, 90, 120 minutes to start feeling the effects. It was very helpful for me to stop smoking cannabis, and I feel like I'm basically on a path to very only occasional use rather than regular use, which is kind of my ultimate goal. So that's how that's gone, and I'm getting a phone call, so I'm gonna end the video. I'm living me. Are you living you? Thanks for watching.